And hello once again, everyone. Welcome to CSC 151. Unfortunately, my previous version of this video did not take, so I'm just going to delete everything that I have here, and we're just going to redo this over. So, I'm just going to leave my previous things with borders and colors and fill colors and even this little proof that'll take me to Yahoo Finance. I'm going to leave all of that right here as is. You should already know how to be able to get to a working link, how to get some different things working like that from previous videos and previous assignments. So, if you need to, I recommend you pause right now and fill in something that looks very similar to this with merging and centering and all that sort of stuff, and create whatever it is you're grabbing. I grabbed the net income for Nintendo. You might grab the total revenue for Nike. You might grab whatever company and whatever thing you're tracking you feel like tracking. Go ahead and track it. So once you're done with that, you may unpause and continue this video, because this is the follow along. And basically, at this point in time, everything else we do here, these guys right here, these guys right here, and these guys right here, are all going to be equations. Nothing is simply going to be typed in as like a 4 or like a, point, 7, whatever. Nothing is going to literally just be typed in. Everything is going to be equations, simply based on these three numbers. Why three numbers? Because if I want to get any more than the 3 previous years, I have to I have to pay money for this site. So, we're simply going to be doing it this way. Now, we already generally know what average, weighted, min, and max mean, but we're getting that out of the percentage change. So first things first, I need to grab my percentage change. Make sure you realize which direction your numbers are going. Normally, in these things, I go with, 2019, 2020, 2021. You'll notice in this assignment, I have flipped it. So you can flip it as if you like. Just know that it means you're going to have to be paying attention to which direction you do these numbers. Because if I do equal this guy divided by this guy minus 1, I'm going to wind up somehow going from 250 million to 350 million, and yet it says between these two numbers I lost 29%. So, always make sure, whatever you're doing, you're grabbing the current year divided by the previous year minus 1. And there we go, I got myself 41%. Now, as I said, I'm not typing in 41% because 41% is 41.0000. In actuality, this 41% is 41.116776, so on and so forth. It's hiding via rounding and decimal points. And if you're off by a little, by the time we get to our future projections, you'll be off by a lot. So same rules apply here. Equal previous current year divided by previous year minus 1, and we'll wind up with this. And we have a grand total of 2 things, so it's an easy average here. So equal average, boop. There we go. It'll also be an easy min, these two guys, boom, and an easy max, these two guys. Obviously, I'm still using equations, just in case, I decide, oops, that wasn't actually a 6, that was a 5. So it'll update automatically with it. So we are always using equations. Everything in this is an equation. And of course, because we're doing a weighted change, now I'm in Excel, so I can't do a equal average dot weighted. I have to actually, math this out. So, this guy times 2 is that, and plus that guy, because that guy's times 1. And you'll notice that that's basically all there is as far as the weighted average. 2 plus 1 is 3. Triangular number of 2 is 3. And we've got a grand total of 3 weights. And there we go, I've got 68. And that's where we have this right now. If your numbers are looking different by any chance, and you still picked Nintendo and you still picked net income, then I recommend you go back, watch it, pause it, look at your assignments, and also, maybe check to make sure your decimal points are in the same spot, because I don't have any decimal points going on here. So that's generally the easy part. This is the part that we've already essentially done in the previous videos. This next part is where it gets a little bit interesting. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to assume, using these numbers, that the previous year's total will grow by whatever percentage is in this box. So the average change, this 640 million, will grow by 61% and pop here. Or this 640 million will grow by 68% and pop down over in the weighted change. Or by the minimum percent and popping over there, or by the maximum percent and popping down there. And then, of course, the numbers for 2022 will then be used to create the numbers for 2023. The 2023 will be able to make the ones for 2024 and 2025, so on and so forth. So let's just do that here. I'm going to do equals my previous year, because there's my previous year, and I'll times it by, the 61%. And that'll give me, obviously, the wrong number. So I need to make sure that I add my original number back in. I could also easily simply do this plus 1, and I'll get the same exact result. Both equations will work perfectly fine. And now then, if I want to make this easy on myself, I can just use absolute references in the right places, so that I can just simply click and drag. So what's going to stay the same here? In this column from 2022, what's going to stay the same? Well, my number from 2021 is going to stay the same. So I'll just make sure that's $sign and $sign. Boom. And now, if we notice, click and drag this down, this guy is still using my 2021 number, but now look, my max change is using my max change number, because I specifically set up these these rows, to be vertical. Average, weighted, min, max. Average, weighted, min, max. So these numbers will pop in right there, and pop in right there, but it'll always stay the same. And of course, I'll just go and, change my borders and give it the top border. There we go, back again, because it copied the borders as well. And I can do the same thing this way as well. Except this time, the thing that's going to stay the same is, if we think about it, is going to be that average change. Because if I try to do something like this and move it over, you'll notice that, yeah, my value is now moving over, because I had this set up in such a way that I had, my years going left to right. So if I moved it over, this reference will always be 1 over to the right, so it will always be the previous year. But you'll notice, well, my average change went now over as well. So if I want to fix this, use my $sign and $sign, click and drag this over, and now it doesn't matter that it's over here. This equation is still the previous year with the added 61% added in. This equation over here is the previous year with the added 61% added in. This equation is the previous year with the added 61% added in. And we can wind up doing the same exact thing over here, previous year times $sign C $sign 12 for weighted plus 1. And remember to put that in parentheses, David. Boom. And then we'll just move it over here. Boom. There we go. And it'll go and work like that. And I'll do the same thing. Equal previous year times, that guy plus 1. And make sure that I have $sign there, because remember the column, remember the row, and because 1 is 100% in decimal format, I'm going to take the original number in its entirety and add that 41% onto it by using something like this. And then I can just go stretch it over across, boom, just like that. And then same thing equals this guy times, and I'll just do it, type it, $C, $14 plus 1, that'll give me my maximum. And I can just drag it and stretch it along, and we now have ourselves those numbers moved across. And just to make sure that I have this the way I want it, in 2024, in my previous attempt, I had a 3849844. 3844, yep, there it is. So, and I had 1800, 1800, and then I had a 3050, 3050. I had a bunch of 2, 6, 9s, and 2s. Yep, and a 7 at the end there as well. So yeah, and if I just switch this up and move this over on the left-hand border, boom, there we go. So every single thing here, you'll notice, is an equation. I have essentially predicted the future projections of Nintendo based on their percentage changes of their past 3 previous years. And I did 4 different possible ways. If they went with the average, they'd wind up in the year 2025 with $4 billion. If they wind up going with the weighted average, they'll wind up with $5 billion. If they go by the minimum, they'll go with $2 billion, and they'll be basically at $7 billion at the maximum. So I just projected 4 different possible ways this could go. Keyword being could, because, is there going to be the same exact percentage change year after year? No, there's not. But it's just a future projection based entirely on equations. The only thing that is not an equation are these 3 numbers. But you'll notice if I go and switch this and say, hey, you know what? This was actually a 5. Boom. All my numbers down here just changed. My numbers over here changed. And you know what? This was actually a 4. Boom. Now my numbers changed here again. These numbers changed. These numbers changed. Everything keeps changing. So, all I need to do is have those 3 as numbers. Everything else is an equation. Let me just Command Z to get back to the correct numbers. And also, you'll have the proof of that, making sure you have the colors different. You already know how to do the colors and how to change the font size and all that sort of fun stuff. This video is focusing on following along with exactly the coding. So once you get this, or if you picked a different company, maybe you didn't pick Nintendo, maybe you picked Nike or Amazon or whoever, once you have, your accurate information here and all of these are equations, remember to go to File and Save as the Excel file. I do not want to see a picture, I do not want to see a PDF, a JPEG, a screenshot, none of those. I want you to show me the Excel file. Why? Because I need to double-click these cells and see that, yes, you put in an equation. I need to see that, yes, you are using your dollar signs. I need to see that, yes, every single one of these things is an equation. I can only see the cells in an Excel document. If you give me a picture, I can't click the cells and see this. I can't prove that this 61%, I can't prove that this and this are different. Because this is just a flat-up number that you typed in. But I double-click this, it shows the actual equation, and the cells light up that you used. I want to be able to see the cells that you light up. So these guys right down here are equations. These guys in this gold box are equation. These guys in the future projections, all equations. Everything's an equation. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. There are 22 equations in this. So hopefully you've been following along. If you need to, remember to pause, go back in the video, take it step by step. Play, pause, follow along, play, pause, follow along. If you're using Google Sheets, congratulations. You don't need to do this equation. You could just, type your weights in the way that Google Sheets does. But still, I want you to download it as an Excel file and send me the Excel file. If you're using numbers, congratulations. You can just send me the numbers file as well, and I'll be able to read that as well. But yes, point being, I am grading you on this follow-along assignment specifically on your equations. I want to see you do these equations. And since you've been following along, hopefully that means you got a 100% on this. Sorry about having to skip over the changing the font colors and making the font bigger and larger and all that sort of stuff, but we've already gone over that, and I think because the video was too long, it might have just crashed and not wanted to load properly. So you'll just have to make all that fancy stuff up first, and then follow along in the video. Thank you very much. You guys have a great day. Now that we've done the follow along and you've watched all the lectures, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, maybe you've also taken the quiz, hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge, the next video is going to be the do-it-yourself. And unlike this video, where I'm literally going to show you the equations and show you what you should be typing and allowing you to follow along, the do-it-yourself will be literally a do-it-yourself. So, you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.